the independent investigator has concluded his report into Nadhim Zahawi, and it has found serious breaches of the Ministerial Code. As a response, Rishi Sunak has sacked Nadhim Zahawi from the cabinet.
Wow.
Nadhim Zahawi is no longer the chairman of the Conservative Party.
Wow. I mean, this goes against everything that Mr. Zahawi was saying, of course. He was confident he'd done nothing wrong.
He was indeed, and we're yet to see the full details of the independent report that has been compiled. But what Rishi Sunak has written in a letter to Nadhim Zahawi has gone as follows. Following the completion of the independent advisor's investigation, the findings of which he has shared with us both, it is clear that there has been a serious breach of the Ministerial Code. As a result, I have informed you of my decision to remove you from your position in His Majesty's Cabinet. As you leave, you should be extremely proud of your wide-ranging achievements in the government over the last 5 years. He goes on to talk about particularly the vaccine rollout, which Nadhim Zahawi was, of course, responsible for. He's also served, of course, as Chancellor, as Education Secretary, in many different roles over the last 5 years in various Conservative governments. This will be a big blow to the government. It may well be seen by Number 10 as sort of cauterising a wound that was growing. And this is a much speedier process than many people were expecting. Of course, we've seen independent investigations in the past go on for many, many months.
Yes.
This has been concluded in a matter of days.
Yes, that's a very dignified letter from the Prime Minister to Zahawi. Do you think that now the fact that it has come out so positively from that independent inquiry, that actually now the Prime Minister can say, I was totally justified in taking this route rather than just sacking him at the very beginning?
Well, we'll remember back to Wednesday in Prime Minister's Questions when Sir Keir Starmer was saying, well, why haven't you sacked him? Why haven't you sacked him? Rishi Sunak's response was he needs to follow this due process. He doesn't want to get ahead of the process, that his government is defined by all of those attributes, integrity, professionalism and everything else. And that means following the process. It's a lot easier to make that argument if the process is very quick and has come to a clear conclusion, which it clearly has today. Although, on the other hand, Nadhim Zahawi was, of course, a very popular figure in the Conservative Party.
Seen as a possible Prime Minister.
Seen as a possible Prime Minister. He's got a lot of support. It's one of the reasons he was placed as Conservative Party chairman, galvanising the grassroots. He's got a remarkable personal story, coming to this country as a child who didn't speak English, as a refugee fleeing Saddam Hussein's Iraq. And now, of course, we've had this remarkable rise. He was a very successful businessman, he was a successful cabinet minister, and a rapid fall today. I would expect we would see a pretty rapid appointment of a new chairman of the Conservative Party in the coming hours.
It's interesting. I mean, clearly, you know, this is a move to try to cauterise the wound, as you put it. However, it does show a weakness, doesn't it? I mean, yet another either resignation or sacking is a sign of weakness in a government which has been plagued with problems since the beginning.
And there have been some reports that Rishi Sunak was warned about this at the start of the process when, of course, he appointed Nadhim Zahawi to the role of party chairman upon becoming Prime Minister. The Propriety and Ethics Team, PET, as it's known in Downing Street, goes through each ministerial appointment each new time, even if someone's moving from a role within Cabinet to a different role within Cabinet. And according to some reports, although this has not been fully corroborated by Number 10, there were some warnings there in terms of how previous investigations may well look. And of course, there are no outstanding issues with HMRC, but this is a question and this was an investigation into how this was handled when Nadhim Zahawi was Chancellor. No doubt there'll be some more questions asked off the back of this. There'll be demands to see this report. We're not yet sure whether this report will be published in full. I would expect it would be, but perhaps you might need to wait until tomorrow